In this learning video, what we're going to do is going to talk about beautifying your resume, basically. A lot of the students turned in the resume so far, which was outstanding, which was great. You created a shell. And what we're doing is we're following an agile type process. And as part of the agile type process, what you have to do is build pieces of something until you get a final product. So the shell was just the three basic components of your resume. However, it wasn't everything we need to do. What you want to do is make a resume attractive and interesting, something that would garner attention, right, to call you out. The fact that you're actually building a Tableau resume is pretty phenomenal as is, but you need to actually add more to that. Now, clearly, I'm not the most artistic person in the world, and some of my students in the past have just done amazing things with their resume. So, just short of amazing, I'm going to give you some examples of some of the things you could do. Like, I created a geo chart for all the countries that I visited. I had a good time in some of these places. You know, some were for work, some were for fun. You can add a filter for what's work and what's fun. I've been to all 50 states, and as you can see, quite a few European cities. I have not been to the continent of Africa yet. It's on my list. I have traveled to Korea. I think, yep, I went to St. Petersburg, Russia. But, you know, one of the things that you can do is make it interesting. Places I visited are interesting. I need to add more details to these, which makes it kind of interesting. But generally speaking, here we are. Then I create a resume sheet. If you go to presentation mode, you know, it's relatively aesthetically pleasing in that regard. It has a Gantt chart. It's got the logos. I owe someone the logo update. Then it's got the work by geo and the skills. I also have a project chart where I do project. I do a lot of project works and what kind of industries I do project. Technology industry, CPG, telecom, financial service, insurance, distribution, other film industries. I had a lot of fun doing work in the film industry. But I had certain dashboards for certain things, which was pretty exciting. And then I had a capability dashboard that shows some of the capabilities that I can do and those kind of things. I've created word clouds, tree maps, and those things. So this week, you're asked to basically create a resume that has more worksheets, more interesting things about yourself, and beautify it to make sure it's just amazing. Now, to create that, you know how to create the worksheets already, and you can use the Show Me feature from any of the drop-down. But let's create a new dashboard. Now, the key thing in creating a dashboard is first create your worksheets, like I just showed you. I prefer to use the floating rather than tiled. And then you can pick things, right? Like maybe I'm going to put the lollipop Gantt here on the chart. And I can make it extended out. Okay. The other thing is you're going to want to do when you beautify your resume is make sure your titles and spelling and everything are checked. Like these are years, it says years, and it's pleasing. It's pleasing, it's not something misspelled, there's no errors. You also, when you put it in, you want to add a picture of yourself, a link to LinkedIn on yourself. Some students in this class already put in a link to Facebook. If you do want to add an image, you click image here. And then what you're able to do is you're able to add images. So there's different things that you can do. See, look, it dropped the image and it's telling me where the file is for the image. So we're able to add an image, search for the file, and you'll be in good shape. It's floating in that regard. So close it, exit. See, and you choose an image, goes fresh. Yeah, sure, whatever. I don't know what those are. Scroll down. I think I have something called professional pictures. Image, open. And you basically float it and then fix it and draw it. We created two things. Maybe I put a LinkedIn image in. Then maybe I'll put a skills chart underneath my Gantt chart. In that regard, show some skills. Go to presentation mode, see how it looks. It doesn't come out too good, so we have to play with that because this part is messed up, so I want to get rid of the legend. So just have to hover over. Maybe bring it up, size it a little bit. See? And you can scroll down. Then, maybe I can figure out, maybe a work by geo chart over here. And same thing. So you can see the key to it was making sure it was floating. I did a work by geo. Then you can create a fun graph, right? This is good. But then you might want to create a fun chart. Like this one was simply a resume chart. But maybe you have something interesting, like places I visited. You create a fun one. So basically you go back in, new dashboard, places. This is the fun, because sometimes people want to know about your personal interests. It may be nice if you actually had personal interests. So this is places that I visited, which are good. And then you can have a filter or no filter on there, and you can build things about yourself that make it kind of interesting. Maybe I should add something about liking sailing. So those are the kind of things that I like to do. But the key thing here for you is to beautify your resume, make sure it looks good, beautify it to a point that you feel comfortable with. And I think some of you have already done that. Some of you took a basic route and didn't put that much into it. But this time, you're asked to put a lot more into it. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you do. And I hope that this video is helpful.